Those of you that successfully broke or cut back on bad habits or unhealthy behaviors, what was your breaking point and how did you achieve success? Anger was the breaking point, not related to the addiction though, just fed up anger. Success was one minimum, 1 hour, 1 day section at a time. Anticipate the reward. Just do it. Suicide attempt got me to quit drinking. The beginnings of asthma got me to quit smoking cigarettes. Watching people ruin themselves financially trying to maintain these habits keeps me from picking it up ever again. I had an unhealthy habitat of intruding on other people's personal space and have since made an effort to off-knock it. It really can destroy friendships and make matters worse. I cut back my drinking a lot. My breaking point was watching a friend die, seeing how unhealthy I had become, and leaving a toxic relationship. Well, my dad died, and that experience made me realize that life is too short to starve myself. Now I'm stuck in a binging cycle, but I'm working on it. After starving it's hard not binge. It took me a few years to get regular eating habits. I think my body needed to store up on nutrients again, and my mind didn't know what was normal. I'm sure you'll get there. Just gotta be patient and gentle with yourself. Loss isn't easy to process. The most helpful thing I've read in regards to weight is about intuitive eating. It has saved my mind. 194 mainly fat at 5 feet 10 was enough for me. My boss paid me $500 to quit smoking. I gave up coffee and started the keto diet in November. I was probably having 4 to 8 cups a day and was at 345 lbs. I stopped keto in the new year, but have kept coffee free still and down to 320 lbs. Recognition of a problem being a problem. Then it was looking for the best way to help. Anger issues lead to talking to a counselor, which lead to management methods. Push your way through the first months. Worked for me, got easy and natural from there. I quit smoking because of my mom. I was 14 when I started smoking and became a bad chain smoker just like my mom was, and she smoked for 20 years. I believe she did quit a few times, but picked it back up. When I was 18 she had to go to the hospital and was diagnosed with COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and is now on an oxygen machine for the rest of her life and has trouble breathing all the time. So it was time to quit. I also quit when I was 18. There's something strange about quitting so young before your friends even can grasp the importance and difficulty of quitting something like that. Also, walking away from smoking right at the time when you can now legally buy cigarettes for yourself wasn't easy in my experience. Yes, it was really hard and frustrating while everyone else smokes around you also, and definitely frustrating when you can now buy them yourself. In the end I used to get headaches a lot, so it was good that I quit. It's been 11 years since we both quit. Definitely for the better. My family's genes just don't do well with smoking, so I'm glad I quit when I did. Sorry you had to go through something like that also. Chewing ice, and I stopped because it was causing too much damage to my teeth and giving me excruciating toothaches in the process. Being fat and depressed, 220 pounds 5,11 at 16. My breaking point was being so unhealthy that climbing the stairs at a new job was a chore. Now down to 160 pounds with muscle definition. I feel so much more confident about myself and can do a 10 kilometers no issue. My issue? Sugar. Not even kidding. All I did was cut out sugar and go to cardio at gym 3 to 4 times a week for 40 minutes. The difference I noticed in lifestyle was ridiculous. If anyone does this, cut down, then stop. Don't cut sugar immediately. It will result in diabetes. My mom had a scan done and they found DSO they thought was cancer. She cried when telling me, ask me to quit smoking before it was too late. I had 3 left in that pack. After those 3 I quit. Going on 3 years now. It ended up not being cancer, but I don't regret it. I stopped biting my nails this year. I used to bite them so bad that I would constantly get infections on my fingers. My friend was quitting smoking starting this year and we agreed we'd suffer together. So far we have both been true to our word of quitting. As some background, I've been biting my nails for 20 years, so it wasn't easy. This one I just haven't managed to overcome. I'll manage for a week or 2 and then find that I'm doing it again without even thinking about it. I do this. That's got to be a tough one. to catch yourself doing sometimes. Extremely, you have to really watch yourself. I still catch my fingers in my mouth from time to time, but I never bite them. It's hard to stop biting nails. It's a bad habit. My BF hates it, so I have to get my nails done in order to not bite them, lol, but congrats on quitting. I was smoking a substantial amount of tobacco. When I found out I was going to be a father, I got an e-cigarette immediately and never smoked tobacco again. Turns out I just needed something to occupy my idle hands on breaks. The nicotine very quickly got phased out, and I continue as more of a hobby these days. I have become attached to vaping. It became a point of contention for my baby mama as I carried it everywhere, including the bathroom, with me. Sometimes you just swap one vice for a slightly more acceptable one. My father, he used to smoke a lot. Once I believe his teeth had gotten so bad, they had to take 3 out and told him to quit smoking completely. He went cold turkey the next day. It was amazing how he just quit it like that. My dad has not touched a cigarette since then. Now if only I can convince him to stop fried food. I used to drink a ton of pop. It was all I'd drink. A couple years back I started to get really bad migraines multiple times a week. The only common things each day were pop and stress. Sure enough, cutting the pop out reduced them by about 1/3. I found caffeine seemed to be a trigger, or at least the amount I was consuming. Haven't had any since. I stopped drinking alcohol more than once a week when it became just a thing I did after work out of habit. I'm not drinking anymore because Emilian can't mix my meds with alcohol, and I have a bet with a friend so that we both don't eat meat for a year. It's been 2 months already. Yearly physical, and the doctor says all my blood work looks great, except sugar. I had 2 years of elevated sugar, and I was diagnosed pre-diabetic. Had 2 choices: cut sugar significantly, or plan on taking meds within a few years. I cut sugar significantly. Blood work is now near perfect. I cut back on playing video games as much as I was, because one summer I literally spent all summer inside on the computer, barely talked to my family, and went up to 280 pounds in 8th grade. Started ting a lot more, and am now in the Marine Corps, having lost over 100 lbs. I still play video games often, but I've met so many good people, and have so many more options, that it's not my one and only anymore. Kidney stone stopped me drinking soda. 2016 I was probably at my worst weight at over 260 plus due to all the eating out and ordering pizza I did. Fast forward to 2018, I got a notice from one of the pizza joints I used to order frequently telling me they no longer deliver in my location. For the perspective, they have been delivering to me for over a decade and only recently started not taking orders. I said okay then, and started my more extreme weight loss program, this time starting at 248. As of right now I'm currently 205 lbs. Here's hoping for under 200. A couple years ago I sprained my knee right at the start of summer, and thus couldn't ride my bike, which was my main form of exercise. I then proceeded to gain about 30 pounds, reaching the heaviest I've ever been, and decided enough was enough. I then cut out almost all the unhealthy junk, especially soda, and exercised even more once I recovered. I lost almost 60 pounds, and have kept it all off. All I really did was convince myself I never wanted to be that way again. From 210 down to 150, if anyone is curious. Not a serious one, but I used to have a really bad nail biting habit. What made me stop was when a jagged edge of my nail that I was biting on got caught on the sweater I was wearing and ripped most of my nail off the nail bed. To this day, my nails are always super long because I'm afraid to cut them in case something like that happens again. Poverty convinced me to quit smoking cigarettes. I also got tired of coughing while working in customer service. I went through a bad breakup too, and for some reason the anger gave me the energy I needed to quit. I think I was just really bored of it. I smoked a pack a day for 12 years before that. I used to be a smoker, and a heavy one, 2 packs a day. I used to work in a law firm. When I arrived at 8 o'clock I usually had a cigarette, but I skipped it. Then went for a smoke an hour later, and thought I don't feel like smoking anymore, and threw out the pack to trash. I completely stopped smoking from that day. It's been 1.5 years after that moment, still haven't had a cigarette, and I don't think I ever will. I hope this enlightenment comes to other smokers as well. It was unbelievably easy, no cravings whatsoever. I was addicted to painkillers for a few years and a few other things, but that was the worst. I had somehow managed to keep it from my family and close friends, but it was getting to the point where I was actively ruining my life. The breaking point was an NDE. A couple of interesting revelations came from that, but the main thing was realizing that if I had died, I would not have been at all happy with my life. Everything could be over in an instant, and if that was going to happen, I at least wanted to die knowing I had tried to be the kind of person everyone thought I was. It wasn't an easy thing to kick, but I've been clean for almost 4 years now.